Now, it is a topic that has spurred sayings like opposites attract. But after celebrating our nation's independence this week, we wondered about the idea of independence in relationships. Should couples do everything together or have everything in common? Our relationship expert, Kat Roby / Vanna White, is joining us again because this is a topic that I think a lot of couples, either outsiders, have a question about or in the relationship. Do we have to have everything in common?
No. Isn't that great? And we're done.
And we're done. Yeah.
I hear this in my office all the time. We don't have anything in common. We don't share anything together. We don't do things together. That's more of a choice than we recognize. So there's lots of people, lots of really celebrated couples that have completely different lifestyles. The thing is, they want to connect with each other so you can talk about what you're interested in and ask questions about what the other person's interested in, but you don't actually have to do those things together. Like, just thinking about how can you be connected over that topic, for example. You can talk about it, you can say, hey, I don't really like doing that, but what do you love about it? Because I love you, so I want to hear those things from you. I'm interested in you. That's the important part.
Yeah.
You don't have to be interested in that thing or that hobby or whatever it is, but being able to support each other and also knowing where there's a healthy balance between the two. Like, a completely independent life probably could be questioned as well. So like having two lifestyles so much so that you're maybe just roommates would be a place to go, are we really connecting? Because again, it's not that you do everything together, but where are you connecting and in what time and place?
Yeah. So I think maybe others may feel as if, you know, if I have something that's my jam and he has his thing, that also means that we're kind of drifting apart. Those two things aren't equal, right? So we can have independence and not be like further apart from each other.
Right. And you mean what it looks like to family and friends and people outside of your relationship. Yeah, absolutely. I think that actually makes the relationship stronger. So if you're doing everything together and you feel that you have this mindset that you can only do everything together to be a strong couple, that's kind of a dependent relationship. That's a little bit too much focus. I do this thing in my office where we want to have a relationship where we choose and stand next to each other versus having everything be about the other person, where sometimes that'll be too much and it'll crush. So being able to be independent but still connected and choosing to stand side by side, so to speak, is a totally different thing than having everything weighing in on spending every single moment or every occasion together. So explaining that to family and friends is also important, to let them know, we're great. You know, we're so great because I get to go to my event and he's going to stay home, or vice versa, or he's going to go out with the guys after work, and I don't have a problem with that. And then we get to talk about it. So it actually enriches the relationship because you're bringing new dynamic information in, so to speak, especially if you're then interested in hearing about, well, how was happy hour tonight? What was it like? Who was there? Well, you know.
There's something you get to come back and have something, you know, exciting to talk about. You know, my husband does competitive weightlifting, and it's not something I ever would want to do. But, you know, I know enough about what his passion is, you know, in order to know the lingo or to know if he's doing good. And I get excited when he does something. So I think I don't have to be a weightlifter with him, you know what I mean? But I feel like if I just know enough and support him enough, I think that it keeps everything kind of exciting. So if a couple maybe is thinking, you know what, this sounds good. I do kind of want a little bit of independence, but how does a couple maybe start that if they haven't already thought that was an okay thing in their relationship?
Yeah, well, maybe go back to the things that you are interested in.
Yeah.
You know, if you have stopped going out with your friends, for example, or you've stopped doing some sort of particular interest, if you stopped doing your weightlifting because it's taking too much time away from the relationship, maybe inching back toward that, or talking about it some more with your partner and saying, hey, I'm interested in starting to do this again. How would you feel about it? Not necessarily for permission, but to also check in to say, hey, this is something I'm really wanting to maybe put my toe back into the water. How would you feel about it? And maybe you'll get, you know, sure, tell me all about it, or hey, maybe that makes me a little bit nervous. But still, there's always a place to talk further if you're open to that. You know, it's not so rigid and structured that it's just about whether you're doing the event or not. So yeah, I think even a tiny thought toward what can I do this month that might put me out there, or check if there's meetup groups that are doing something like that, or however you think is going to be the best way to put your foot back out there.
You have such great advice. I always love when you come on. It's always a topic that I feel a lot of people can, you know, relate to.
Yeah.
So that's why we have you on, not only just to hold cutouts of cats and dogs for us.
It's nice to be needed.
Yeah, I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming in. And even for more relationship advice, call Kat Roby at 906-3392 or go online to robycounseling.com as well.